Good afternoon. So nice to see you all here today. My name is Fran Graham, and I'm chair of the Board of Trustees of Moore College of Art and Design. I'm also a proud alumna, and my daughter Laura also was a student here. So we're a dynasty, and we're still working on it. So on behalf of the entire Moore community, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the inauguration of Moore's 11th president, Cathy Young. Today, we formally install Cathy as president of Moore College of Art and Design. I want to begin by recognizing some of our special guests here this afternoon. So if you would please stand as I mention your name. President Emerita Cecilia Fitzgibbon. Welcome back. Delegates from Franklin and Marshall College, Widener University, Thomas Jefferson University, please stand, Villanova University, Lehigh University, Cote College, Drexel University, the University of the Arts, Berklee College of Music, Holy Family University, and Delaware College of Art and Design. Thank you. And House Democratic Leader Joanna McClinton, Senator Bob Casey, and Senator Vincent Hughes. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm also honored that joining us are representatives of the segments of the Moore community. Our board, would all members of the boards of trustees and managers please stand? Our faculty, please also stand to be recognized. And staff, students, and alumni, welcome and thank you. Moore's future depends on all of our constituencies working together as we educate the next generation of leaders in art and design. I was fortunate to serve on the 13-person search committee that interviewed and recommended Cathy Young to be Moore's 11th president. In Cathy, we have found an ambitious, engaged, lifelong creative and academic leader. Cathy brings a passion for education and young creatives, and over the last 4 months has quickly developed an appreciation of what makes Moore so unique and special, a small college with major impact that also serves all generations. Well, so much has changed since my days as a student. The core values of Moore to educate historically underrepresented populations with empathy and tenacity remains constant. As Moore's new president, Cathy Young will be called upon to deliver and expand on the promises of Moore's many strengths as an institution of higher education and as a cultural force, including by taking advantage of the many opportunities presented by Philadelphia's creative resources and Moore's location in the heart of the city's cultural corridor, the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Cathy began her new role here at the end of June, and from every indication is off to a remarkable start. Cathy, I know I speak for many Moore alumni when I say that we are inspired by you, your belief in the important role of creatives and continuing to advance and support the Moore student today and into Moore's future. You may not yet know the complete array of accomplishments that Moore alumni represent, but we want you to know that we all support you and look forward to working with you. I'm confident that Moore will continue to thrive under your leadership. Welcome, President Young. And now we will hear a series of greetings from various leaders at Moore representing the faculty, administration, staff, and students. But first, please join me in welcoming Romona, Riscoe, Benson, Director of Corporate and Community Impact at PECO. Thank you, Romona.
Thank you and good afternoon. To the trustees, managers, faculty, staff, students, and community leaders, and to President Cathy Young, I bring greetings from Pennsylvania's largest public energy utility, PECO, its president and CEO, Michael Innocenzo, our 2,700 employees, and over 1.8 million customers. President Young, thanks to you and your staff for including us in this most important event today, and a heartfelt welcome and welcome back to the Philadelphia region. I cannot be happier to meet you and offer an extension of partnership as we have had relationship with the school and certainly with Cecilia over the years. I also wish you well from a corporate and business community that seeks new and innovative ways to continue to reinstate and reinvigorate our city and region after the 2.5-year pandemic and its impact on our communities. And as we continue to welcome and congratulate you today, I also invite you to position Moore as an engaged partner in ways that can broaden its access for our underrepresented communities and provide the element of creativity and innovation that Moore is so uniquely positioned to offer in our region. PECO has much in common with Moore. We being the first energy company established in Pennsylvania, Moore being the first and only college dedicated to the education of women in the arts and design in our state and country. PECO places a high value on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and are focused on creating more access to career opportunities within our company and the energy sector for those in our region that have historically been underserved in our industry. We are also a company that has placed a focus on gender equity and ensuring those opportunities are equally extended to women for employment, along with serving girls with our numerous STEM education programs we support. Our support of arts and culture extends back to the earlier years of the 20th century, supporting visual arts and performance. Our focus has been more closely aligned with our community agenda in more recent years, now supporting access to the arts for Title I schools and families from the very communities we serve in our greater Philadelphia region. This year, we have extended this reach to more community-based arts initiatives with our first Powering the Arts competitive grant program. Personally, President Young, music has long been a great love and passion of mine, and so I really appreciated the music as we were walking in. You come to us from the Boston area and Berklee. I almost attended Berklee as a music performance major, voice and classical bass, and my paternal grandmother grew up in the Boston area and as a young woman received music lessons for piano at the Boston Conservatory of Music. So with all of that, I look forward to getting to know you better, and PECO looks forward to exploring ways to partner in the future. Cathy Young, once again, welcome to Moore College and welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you. And please now join me in welcoming Lauren Stichter to the podium to give greetings from the faculty. Lauren?
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Stichter. For those of you who don't know me, I am the director and an associate professor of art education here at Moore College of Art and Design. This year, I also have the wonderful honor of being our faculty forum president. You may have noticed that as the faculty forum president, I had the honor of also walking down with that mace over there, that large, sturdy staff. Since the 11th century, the ceremonial mace has been used as a symbol of higher education scholarship and integrity. And at Moore, our mace is regularly used to lead academic processions like a presidential inauguration. Our mace, which is made out of rosewood and silver, was created right here on campus by longtime faculty member, artist and educator, the late Richard Posniak. The medallion on top features a silhouette of our founder, Sarah Peter, and the college's inception date. It is a privilege to carry this mace and represent our creative and dedicated faculty in welcoming Cathy Young as our new president. Cathy was great we greet you as a fellow artist and educator who brings to Moore a distinguished record of innovation in arts, education, planning, and management. We are energized by your passion for elevating Moore's work and impressed with your dedication to raising up future leaders in art, design, and education. Together, we will achieve many great things, I'm sure. And now please join me in welcoming Claudine Thomas, our Interim Chief Academic Officer, who will be giving greetings on behalf of the administration. Dean Thomas.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello, good afternoon. Let me first say that it is an honor to be here and to speak on behalf of Moore's administration about our new president, Cathy Young. In the short time that she has been here, she has made a lasting impression on our students, faculty, and staff. And what can I say about these past 3 months? How do you know when there is new leadership, a new day? Well, my first clue, it was the day President Young asked where the music speakers were located in the presidential office suite. We both looked at each other in confusion, her genuinely wanting to know where was the music, me trying to figure out if she was joking. 30 minutes later, the sounds of Parliament Funkadelic hovered in the air, while over 250 students, faculty, and staff entered the suite in celebration and joy for the start of the first semester. It was a new day. As she has spent these past few months gathering her first impressions of Moore, she has noted all the things that make this institution special. Our community spirit, our diligent pursuit of academic excellence, the passions our students and faculty hold for their creative work and practice, and our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. She has carried through the work of our previous president and has taken the time to listen and engage with Moore's constituents in order to not only build upon what was carried over, but to also push all of us to think forward and beyond. Much like a dance, I imagine her leadership is much like her choreography, a dichotomy between pulling together and pushing back, creating an opportunity for us to dig and to get inside the details to see what makes us tick and learn how the individual parts work together. And then having the ability to step back and look at the whole picture. This allows us all to honor the work while at the same time embracing and making room for innovation. I'm excited for where Moore is headed under her leadership. I wanted to see if others felt the same way I do, so I took a quick poll. I asked my fellow administrators how they would describe President Young in 1 or 2 words. What were their first impressions? They said, energetic, determined, action-oriented, strategic, inspiring, boundless optimism, effervescent, and my favorite, real. Moore is poised for a future that is hopeful, confident, and persistent in its pursuit to educate and inspire the next generation of artists, designers, educators, and curators. And under President Young's leadership, our students will be prepared to step into the world as leaders and change makers, operating with a creative energy that is both strategic and inspiring, something that she models each day. Welcome. And now, please join me in welcoming Meg Wolensky, Managing Director of Continuing Education, who will give greetings on behalf of Staff Council.
Hello. How exciting. Good afternoon. My name is Meg Wolensky, and I serve as the Managing Director of Continuing Education here at Moore. I'm honored to be participating in this ceremony as the newest member of Staff Council. Moore staff wishes to impart President Young with our warmest welcome. President Young lights up at the opportunity to puzzle through Moore's multifaceted and powerful potential. She is eager and equipped to lead us across the spectrum of challenges and successes that lie ahead. We have always known that Moore is a space of metamorphosis. As a historically women's college serving our specific audiences, Moore carves a special, if not sacred, place in the world for our students. Our staff build and hold the space as our students transform within. We hold the space open as high and wide as we can stretch so that they can grow to their full potential. Young's experience as a choreographer, entrepreneur, arts educator, and academic leader, paired with her emphasis on community, collaboration, diversity, and innovation, accompanies this transformation like a steady drumbeat. With this foundation, there is a sense of peace that President Young brings in her leadership as we explore what can be done bigger while never losing sight of what can be done better. She encourages us to dream in the face of bold change. We too shift ever closer to our best form. On behalf of Moore's dedicated staff, I welcome you, President Young. We love working with you, and cheers to the future of Moore. Now, please join me in welcoming Iliana Flores, class of 23, president of the Student Government Association, to the podium. Iliana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Iliana Flores, a graphic design senior here at Moore. I'm also student government president. Let me start off by saying I am honored to be speaking on behalf of the student body and welcoming our new president, Cathy Young. Prior to even having the opportunity to meet Cathy, I had already heard of all the excitement about the person she is and the mindset she has coming into her position. From what I had heard, she was ready and very eager to talk with students, involve herself in the community, and be the type of leader that Moore needs. Some of the words I can remember being used to describe her were along the lines of bright, inquisitive, and promising. Now, all of this, for any one person, is arguably a lot of expectation to live up to. And let it be known that in the highest regard, I admit that you have lived up to those expectations. I cannot express how gratified we students are and how excited the Moore community is to start this journey with you and share the next chapter together. Your tremendous effort is truly engaging with students is admirable and undeniable. We see you. From celebrations, events, and social media to random middle-of-the-day coffee stops, there is not a single moment that Cathy has not seized the opportunity to speak with students and simply just listen. You've shown your dedication to making students feel seen and heard, and have shown your commitment to not just listening, but acting and truly following through. It is almost as if it is your own foundation year. And through your ups and downs, I encourage you to stay true to who you are and to grow with the community you serve. I encourage you to keep asking questions, keep making yourself accessible to students, and continue to do the work. I challenge you to also be bold and carry through. We're ready to put in the work, and I know you are too. Again, on behalf of the student body, welcome President Young. Let us now move together toward a promising future with hope and anticipation. And now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Larry Simpson, recently retired Provost of Berklee College of Music.
Something of music. It'll be interesting.
Good afternoon. Esteemed members of the Moore College of Art and Design Board of Trustees, managers, college leadership, faculty, staff, alums, students, and the friends of Moore. I am deeply humbled and honored to formally introduce to you my dear friend and colleague, Cathy Young, as the 11th president of Moore College of Art and Design. More than 40 years ago, on a Friday afternoon, I was sitting in the library of one of my former institutions, preparing lectures for my psychology classes I was teaching at the time, when one of the college deans walked in and he approached me with a question. He asked, "Would you like to go to Africa?" I responded with a puzzled, "Yes." "Then meet me here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. When I arrived the next day, there was a group of 22 other people gathered, most of whom I did not know. On the spot, we were given Hayes Fulbright scholarships to spend the summer in West Africa. So that summer, I spent studying and experiencing life in Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, and Liberia. I have shared with Roger Brown, the former president of Berklee, who is sitting in the front row this afternoon, that trip saved my life, or said differently, blew open the limiting boundaries of my mental and spiritual beings. Time does not permit me to go into the reasons why, but I've hazarded to guess where I would be today without that summer of African people wisdom, magic, and music. A chance encounter on an ordinary Friday afternoon resulted in an altered life for the better. I share this story because in selecting Cathy Young to be the president of Moore College of Art and Design, you have chosen the absolute best person for Moore at this moment in the history of the college, as well as in these fraught moments we find ourselves in higher education today. I have worked very closely with Cathy for more than a decade, while I had the pleasure of serving as provost at Berklee for 17 years. I retired just 20 years ago, so I'm slowly getting my retirement sea legs under me. And parenthetically, I'm open to any advice in living happily ever after in retirement. Prior to coming to Berklee, I served as president of 2 community college campuses in Cleveland, Ohio. In addition, I am a trained social psychologist, a discipline that proved invaluable during my long tenure in higher education. I raise these bio points to suggest that I bring a level of skill, expertise, and experience to judging the characters and qualities of senior college leadership. And for 11 years, I worked almost on a weekly basis with Cathy. First in her role as the dean of the dance division at the Boston Conservatory, and then as the executive director of the conservatory. I was deeply impressed from the very beginning of my meeting Cathy with her vision, her passion, her knowledge, and absolute steadfast commitment to her students. This became ever more apparent when she became the conservatory's executive director. Like Moore, the conservatory was also 150 years old, and it too had a streak of being iconoclastic. The nephew of the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass was a student at the conservatory, and it was also the first conservatory to admit African American women. As you know from reading Cathy's impressive bio, she became the executive director of the conservatory in 2017, after the college and conservatory merged. And it was during her service as the executive director that I got to know who she really was as a leader and a person. Now, mergers are strange creatures. In the early days of mergers, the story is the world will be transformed by two amazingly, seemingly compatible organizations who will achieve more by becoming one than either can do alone. The dance is seductive as the covers of culture slowly get pulled back and each organization gets a closer view of the other. But in reality, one organization is the dominant one, the one with the more resources and perhaps cachet. The deal is done. The champagne is sipped, and the lovely caramelized layered leeks dipped in amazing white cheddar dip. In time, however, in most cases, one organization simply disappears, so much so that folks are hard-pressed to even recall a merger had taken place at all. Who did United Airlines merge with several years ago? It was Continental Airlines. All that remains of Continental is the globe on the tail of United's airplanes. There have been 95 college mergers in the past 4 years. I must admit that when it came to the college conservatory merger, I was a proponent of the larger organization absorbing the smaller organization. My view was all would be better served by such an outcome. But there was strong resistance and fear at the conservatory about the conservatory losing its identity, unique culture, and specialness. I said earlier that Cathy and I met often, and no topic was off limits, and as it was in these meetings. Me sitting in a chair in her office that actually I grew quite fond of that chair, while Cathy sat on her couch agreeing to some points and challenging others. And it was in those times that I saw Cathy's brilliance, determination, passion, and yes, even cunning, in driving an agenda based upon a vision that was singular and compelling. Her strategic directions document, based upon the 3 pillars of diversity, innovation, and elevation, was nothing short of, in the words of the poet Robinson Jeffers, bounds breaking. In the end, Cathy won me over to her side of the merger discussion. And I believe the conservatory is better served by maintaining its unique identity in the larger institution. So to the Moore College family and broader community, I couldn't be prouder to formally introduce to you the 11th president of Moore College of Art and Design, Cathy Young, a woman of vision, impeccable integrity, passion, jubilantly effervescent, fierce in the face of fractious situations, and focused and on point to what matters. And to the good students of Moore, Cathy is one of you. She is an artist, a dancer, and choreographer who knows what it is to create space in the world with art when the markets say, you may want to think about that decision. She knows what it is to imagine more. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that temptation. Those of you who know what that is. She knows what it is to imagine more, to look into space and challenge time and create movement. She knows the beauty and character of more students and knows their struggles in this new American and global space that is not empty, but filled with social media-fueled balls of confusion, as the Temptations once sang. More community. With your love and support, Cathy Young will envelop Moore College of Art and Design with the clear-eyed love, righteousness, and sense of duty that will propel Moore to a new level of diversity, innovation, elevation, and creativity. I'm honored to present to you Catherine Young, President of Moore College of Art and Design.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you all who have spoken so beautifully. And good afternoon to all. Since arriving in Philadelphia this summer, or should I say coming home to Philadelphia, and it is great to be back, I've been immersed in learning about Moore, its history and culture, its programs and curricula and galleries, and most importantly, its people. What I've discovered is no news to any of you who are familiar with this institution. Moore is extraordinary. The excellence of the artistic education we provide, our commitment to elevating underrepresented voices in the fields of art and design and to nurturing leaders, and our caring and compassionate community all contribute to our singularity and distinction. I am honored to have the opportunity to steward Moore through its next chapter and deeply excited about what the future holds. There are many people to thank on this memorable day. I'd like to express my appreciation to all of you who join us today, whether in person or via live stream. Special thanks to the distinguished delegates who are here to celebrate with us, the higher education colleagues who have joined us, and the elected officials who have carved out the time to share this day with us. We appreciate your support for Moore and your recognition of Moore's impact on the cultural and educational landscape of the city of Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania, and beyond. Thank you to all the leaders who have spoken so eloquently today. Romona Riscoe Benson, Director of Corporate and Community Impact at PECO, Claudine Thomas, Interim Chief Academic Officer, Meg Wolensky, Managing Director of Continuing Education and Staff Council Representative, Iliana Flores, President of our Student Government Association, and of course, my dear friend, Dr. Larry Simpson, retired Provost of Berklee College of Music. My sincere gratitude to the members of our Board of Trustees and Board of Managers for the confidence you have shown in me, and especially the Chair of our Board of Trustees, Fran Graham, and the Chair of our Board of Managers, Art Block. And a huge, enthusiastic thank you to Moore's wonderful students, alumni, faculty, and staff for your warm welcome. You all make Moore what it is. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Moore's President Emerita, Cecilia Fitzgibbon, whose inspired leadership over the past 10 years and through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic brought Moore to this moment where we are positioned to imagine a bright and expansive future. My deepest thanks to the senior leadership team who have educated me about all things Moore, and especially Allison Swick and Liz Cahill, who have led the charge on this celebratory week of festivities. And to our faculty leaders, Maureen Pelta, President of the Moore Federation of Teachers, and Lauren Stichter, President of the Moore Faculty Forum, for their collaboration and their care for the institution. You have to just excuse me, I'm a little verklempt here. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to my dear friends from Berklee College of Music. my mentor, Roger Brown, the immediate past president of Berklee, Susan Whitehead, former chair of the Berklee Board of Trustees, and Cindy Albert Link, former senior vice president, who have traveled to celebrate with us today. And finally, and most importantly, my thanks to my family. I thank my husband, Dwayne, for his support, his wisdom, his love, and for always making me laugh at the end of the day. You make all things possible for me. To all of our family members, and most especially to our 4 children, who after today will be required to address me at all times as Madam President. I'm not kidding about that, actually. I stand before you today with humility and with joy. Humility at the trust that has been placed in me, and absolute joy for the wonderful work ahead. Today is not about me, it's about more. Its history, its present moment, and its future. But as someone with a long career in higher education, I know that when a president resonates on the deepest levels with the ethos of the school they are stewarding, something magical happens. There's an opportunity for leadership that is illuminated by love for a special institution. I have felt in these past 4 months that I have come home to more. And what a gift that is to have found a place at this school which so profoundly inspires me. I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit about who I am and why more means so much to me. I've spent most of my life as a working artist and teacher. My childhood was shaped by loss and change, specifically the death of both of my parents before I was 14. I discovered dance at the age of 21, and from my vantage point now, I can see clearly that dancing was a way for me to process my grief. But beyond that, it was also a channel to joy. One of my favorite truisms is, all art is about the same thing, the feeling of being alive. And I can say that for me, this was absolutely the case. Immersing myself in dance provided not only the framework for my life, but it was also in some ways a spiritual path, bringing meaning and a sense of connection to something larger than myself. The daily discipline of artistic work, the process of looking in and then translating out, of seeking truth and how to express that truth with authenticity and skill. This process molded me as a human being and as a leader. I share all of this with you because here at Moore, I see my own experience as a young artist echoed clearly in our students. Their passion for their work is powerful. Their discipline, the endless hours they spend, and the care that they take all speak not only to their dedication, but to the fact that their artistic work is shaping how they understand their lives, how they come to know themselves, and how they come to know the world around them. What our students are learning at Moore goes far beyond skills. They are learning to become the fullest and most authentic version of themselves, to fearlessly unleash their potential, and to have the courage to follow their own path. One of our staff said something in a start of semester meeting that has stayed with me. They said, Moore is a community of artists. Everyone here is speaking their truth. I'm here today because I resonate with that truth. My mission at Moore will be to lift up those voices and amplify them for the world. Moore is a school that is not afraid to change and evolve, and that does so with the courage of our convictions. One of our students, Lily Scharf, expressed this to me beautifully. As the only historically all-women's art and design college in the United States, Moore was founded 174 years ago with a mission to serve and nurture an underrepresented population in the fields of art and design, namely women. Today, with the shift in our admissions policy to admit students who identify as non-binary and gender non-conforming, We build on that legacy. As Lily said, our mission has not changed. Our commitment is to nurture our diverse student population, diverse in terms of gender identity, sexual orientation, and racial identity, to develop them as leaders and to elevate their work in the fields of art, design, and education. And let me speak for a moment about Moore's commitment to building leaders. Moore's recognition that artists bring unique capacities to leadership, such as imagination, curiosity, authenticity, resonates deeply with me. I've often said that everything I know about leadership, I learned in a dance studio. But I also believed I could lead because the women in my family paved the way for me to do so. I come from a long line of strong women. My grandmother, whose family of Welsh coal miners emigrated to central Pennsylvania and who proudly fought for women's right to vote. And my aunt, who raised me after my mother passed away and who was the first generation in her family to go to college to fulfill her dream of being a teacher and a school principal. Just as their example opened the doors of possibility for me, our students see the success of our alumni and know that the sky is the limit for them. All of this can be distilled into one essential fact. In a world that is roiled by conflict and that at times seems to be unrecognizable, Moore offers hope and a vision for a better future. And we do that because here at Moore, we know how to imagine. Imagination is the superpower of artists. We spend our lives cultivating our ability to imagine what is not yet there and then to make it real. For every time someone says, "That will never work," "Nope, we can't do that," "Nope, there is no solution to that problem," there is an artist or designer who says, "Yes, yes, I can imagine a way," and then carves a new path for us all. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." Now, I'm not saying that knowledge is unimportant. That would probably be a bad stance to take as a new college president. But I agree with Einstein. Imagination is limitless, and for this reason, it is what moves humankind forward. And Moore is an engine of imagination, a place bursting with ideas and creativity and brilliance. So I'd like to invite you to join me in imagining the future of Moore, a future shaped by all of us together as we move Moore into its next chapter of growth and excellence. Imagine the expansion of Moore's reach and recognition, both nationally and internationally, as a leader in creative higher education, with our faculty, students, staff, and alums illuminating the way through their work and innovation. Imagine Moore with new collaborations and partnerships, building a dynamic global network of opportunities for not only the Moore community, but the city of Philadelphia and beyond. Imagine Moore as a place which models for the world how a truly diverse and inclusive college functions. Our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and access is at the center of Moore's future. We will do the work of evolving our systems and structures so that these values shape and define every aspect of the institution. And as a school which prepares exceptionally talented young people to bring their gifts to the world, my dream is that we can build the resources to make a Moore education financially accessible to every deserving student who earns admission to this institution. As Einstein said, imagination encircles the world. And today I'm asking all of you to imagine Moore with us as a school whose impact is felt around the globe. We may not be the biggest school in the world in terms of square feet, but we are huge in passion, imagination, and excellence, and our future is unlimited. It is with gratitude and great enthusiasm that I meet this opportunity. I could not be more honored to accept the presidency of Moore College of Art and Design. Thank you all.
Well, Cathy Young, by the authority vested in me as Chair of the Board of Trustees, I hereby install you as President of Moore College of Art and Design. So this concludes the formal part of our inauguration. So after the recessional, if you would join us in the gallery so that we can celebrate. Thank you.